How do I condition myself to be comfortable taking risks? How do I bypass my mind and realize that delay kills opportunity?
I'm on my way. I often told you, you can't convince anybody to do anything unless you give them a reason to. Think about it. Most times, we work and work and work. We put in a lot of work in what we do, and then we realize that the amount of input we put in is never equals to the amount of output we get. And then our brain tends to tell us to slow down, to give up, or to even go and chill with friends. But before you do that, what is the cost of inaction? What is going to be the consequences of not going to do that thing at that point? I know it's going to be hard, but you need to put in the work, because people you admire, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Dan Lok, every other person you admire, they had the same issue with you. But guess what? They have one thing in common. They put in the work. Any level you want to get in life, you really need to put in the work. Every level has its own work, its own time dedicated to whatever work you have to give it. So put in the work. Don't forget, it may seem like you have all the time in the world, but trust me, that's a lie. Every single second of the day adds up to your lifetime. Even the time you are allocating to this video, the time you're using to watch me talk, it adds up to your life. So if this video is not of value to you, you don't need to watch it. But if it's of value to you, comment below and let me know in the comment section. Ever notice that it is so hard to do little things? It is so hard to do things that are good and that are going to help us in the future. Take for instance, you see someone that is a drug addict. This guy is a drug addict, he smokes and he drinks a lot, and he decides to stop doing that. At some point he goes back. Why? Because our minds are designed in such a way that will stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you, that might stop you from being comfortable, that might stop the current pleasure that you have. That is the way our brain is designed. The brain is designed to pull you off from any event you decide to be persistent about or hesitate to get involved in. Take for instance, if your friends call you for an event, you're going to be so happy to go, right? But if it's a job, most times you're going to be persistent, you're going to hesitate to go do that job. And your brain is going to receive that and give you more reasons why you shouldn't get involved. But the way you could control it, I call it the 5 steps of counting down. You just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is it. You just stand up and do it. That's what I do whenever I feel very lazy about something. Like if I decide not to wake up on time, the first thing I do when I hear the alarm, I just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm up. So whenever you feel lazy or you don't want to get involved in some things, just count down and do it, because that is the only way you're going to build up a standard and a lifestyle you are looking out for. In a scheme of life, hitting down bottom isn't really the problem. Nobody wakes up in the morning and is like, today I'm going to ruin my life. That's not what happened. People just gradually check out. We gradually check out because we are overwhelmed, or we gradually check out because we are afraid of what's going to happen next. And this adds up to the events that make up our life. Tiny decisions that we make that affect us, and we don't realize that they affect us. Decisions that we make, such as decisions not to wake up in the morning on time, decisions not to eat the right food, decisions not to dress the right way. This accumulates in a very long period of time, and by the time you realize that this has messed up your life, it takes time. And you want to go back to the initial setting. Now you know what to do, but you can't implement it. The knowledge is here, but you can't bring it out to a reality. And that is what I call the knowing action gap. The gap between knowing what to do and when to do it and how to do it. The funny thing about the mind here is that when you set a goal, you have a goal planned out and you set it and you want to achieve it within, for instance, a day. And your brain is going to remind you about them step by step. Then here's a very tricky thing. The brain reminds you of your goals in 2 situations. One, when you have achieved one, and secondly, when you are less busy. Now, it's not just about reminding you of your goals, it's about what you do when the brain reminds you of your goals. Do you hesitate to do them again, or do you procrastinate, or do you just do them? Now, that determines a lot, because if you really want to do them, if you do them, your brain adjusts to that efficiency level. It tends to give you more goals because it believes that, okay, it's going to be achieved, because it's all about the sense of mindset. You know, you feel that you've achieved something, but then if you don't achieve anything, the feeling of not being able to accomplish all your goals for the day is going to be there. And it has a way also affecting the brain, the way it gives you information on a daily. So if you respond to the goals that your brain gives you on a daily, or anytime it comes up to your head that, okay, hey, I have this, I'm meant to do that particular, I have this thing I'm meant to do at that particular time, and I pursue it at that particular time, it's going to efficiently give you the remaining goals. You know, we all want a better life. We all want to live a better life. We want changes in our lives that are good, but it isn't everybody that is willing to put in the work. That is the most important part, the work. But if you want a better version of yourself, a better attitude towards life from yourself, you need to settle down and pick out all the garbages, all the things that you find to be a fault in your life. You pull them off and you would become a better person. So we don't reach you. Oh really? That's good. If this video helped you, if it impacted your life, don't forget to tell me in the comment section, okay? I have to be going right now.
Hey! Oh, that wait. Come back. How can you just go like that?
What happened?
Not tell them to subscribe now.
Oh, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, okay?
How many thousand likes?
10,000 likes.
10,000 likes.
Can't park my car and get out of my car.
Sure.
I often told you.
Cut.